Today, what to do inside the pause, because curiosity is where relapse prevention actually begins. Welcome to Sacred Grit, a podcast equipping men to conquer addiction and overcome inner struggles through physical, mental, and spiritual disciplines so you can become a man of honor and integrity. I'm Jason.lyle. Now let's get to work. Today you'll learn regulation creates the pause, but curiosity reveals the trigger. Every trigger carries emotional information, and journaling turns urges into data. This episode is brought to you by MMB Dentistry in Griffin, Georgia. What's up, my dude? Welcome back to the Sacred Grit Podcast and Gritty Wednesday. Let's get right to it. And I want to talk to you about what do you do inside the pause, right? So we talk a lot about creating pause through nervous system regulation, okay? And what we're trying to do is just create this ever so slight crack between what you think and what you do. Because many of us, the reason why we have an addiction is the nervous system is dysregulated. We have a thought or a feeling, and then we act without catching that action. And that's a trained behavior. I talked about on Sunday how that is something that we use to soothe ourselves, right? We've used that addiction to soothe ourselves. And we talked about giving it a new job or putting something into place. I used that parable that Jesus uses about the evil spirit leaving a man. If it comes back and finds the house empty, it brings back 7 friends and makes things worse off than they were in the beginning. So let's talk about what you start to put back in that house, okay? Because regulation creates the pause, but curiosity reveals the trigger. All right. So you've done you're doing your everyday practice. You're getting up, doing some breath work. Maybe you're just doing some cold water. Maybe you're doing some yoga. Maybe you set up a consultation call and we've kind of created you a little practice, or maybe you're in my 12-week program and you're tracking data every day, right? So maybe you're doing all those things, or maybe you're doing this by yourself, but now you kind of started to create some pause. And now you have this tool, this deep breath, hold 5 seconds, take another sip, hold 5 seconds, let it go and wait 90 seconds before making a decision. But what do you do in the pause? Well, you get curious. And curiosity is what's going to reveal the trigger. So the curiosity thing, every trigger carries emotional information. I'm feeling lonely. I'm feeling angry. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling disconnected. I'm feeling whatever, that is that you're feeling. And just so you know, that feeling is a one-word description. It's not well, I was kind of tired. I didn't sleep enough last night. It's just a one-word description, because that word is giving you every bit of the time that you need to be able to catch what's happening inside your body. Okay. Because here's the thing, when that feeling comes in the body and it triggers into action, it comes up in the form of an emotion. Okay. And so it might be excitement, it might be elation, it might be happiness, it might be whatever it is, but whatever that is your trigger response. So you can see that. And that's when you stop and you catch that. Now you have to turn that into data. Now, in the 12-week program that I do, there's a morning journaling exercise, there's an evening journaling exercise, and we turn all this into data. But for now, I want you to think of it this way. If you can either take your phone out, you can keep a journal, or you could just make a quick note so that when you get home that night, you could start tracking your data. And what does that look like? Well, let's just use pornography, for instance. If someone said, well, today I got ready to use pornography, but I was able to pause, I was able to do my breath, and then when I let it go, I thought, okay, what do I feel? Oh, I feel lonely. Okay. And then I make a note of that. And I might write down in my journal, today when I felt the urge to use, I felt lonely. And when I feel lonely, and you might just write whatever comes out. It might happen again later on in the day. It might happen again 2 or 3 days later. But you start clocking exactly what it is that you're feeling inside your body when you turn to the thing that you're trying to use. But this takes awareness and being able to understand when those triggers are coming up. And once again, I want to anchor this back to nervous system regulation, because I want to be really careful here with my listeners is just like I am with the guys that I work with. This is not a magic pill, okay? This is just like if you were going to run a marathon, or if you were going to start lifting weights, or you were going to, whatever it was, start fly fishing. Doesn't matter. You have got to put the reps in to get good at it. Okay. Now, when you start getting good at it, you start seeing traction. And that's what I'm trying to get you to do, because every bit of data that comes in through your body that you don't necessarily have rational access to when you were triggered before, now you do have rational access to it because you're doing nervous system regulation every morning. So what I want you to do, I'm going to go back over it one more time. When you're doing the practices every day, you start feeling, you get this little bit of pause. So you're getting triggered. You take that big breath, hold for 5 seconds, take another sip, hold for 5 seconds, set a timer for 90 seconds. You could grab your journal right then. I was just about to do X, and here is what I was feeling. Start tracking it, because once you track it, now you know when you're feeling lonely, you could go for a walk. You could call a friend. You start putting space between you and the time that you use. If you think about, if you're always standing on the edge of a ledge and all it takes is just the tiniest little feather landing on your shoulder to push you on off that ledge, if you can step back half an inch from that ledge, it takes a little more than a feather, doesn't it? If you can step back an inch from that ledge, it takes a little bit more. If you can step back a foot from that ledge, why then somebody has to walk up and almost shove you to get you to fall off of it, right? We're just trying to create capacity between you and the edge of that ledge so that you can gain control over your impulses and begin to take control of your nervous system, and by virtue, take control of your life. All right. So today you learn regulation creates the pause, but curiosity reveals the trigger. Every trigger carries emotional information, and journaling turns urges into data. My dude, you could drop down into the show notes, click a consultation call. I would love to work with you, help you get into the program to start training your nervous system. That is what I do. I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you helping me spread this word, sharing this podcast with friends. The more that we can get this word out, the better we can get the work out. All right. This episode is brought to you by Chuck Little Nugs Swenson. And Chuck manages the Chick-fil-A. He's the operator of Chick-fil-A in Griffin, Georgia. If you find yourself in Griffin, Georgia, swing on in there and tell them that you want to meet Chuck Little Nugs Swenson. All right, my dude. I hope you have a great week. I will see you on Sacred Sunday.